Hello, and welcome to the Marana Business Community Podcast, presented by the Marana Chamber of Commerce. In this space, we feature local business leaders making a difference in the Marana community. They share information about their business, what makes them successful, what they have learned, and tips to help you in your business or daily life. I'm Amanda Wiggins, your host for today's podcast. Welcome, and today we're excited to welcome part of the Solgen Power team to the Marana Business Community Podcast. Solgen Power is a company that you can quickly tell there's something special about it. It stands out, and there isn't many places in the community you won't see the reach of Solgen Power and the community and people focus that this company has. Today we have owner Fernando Ayala and Director of Marketing and Public Relations, Errin Mendibles. Welcome and thank you for being here. First question, who is Fernando and who is Errin?
I'm Errin Mendibles, native Tucsonan, and most people know me from my past business of being the first photo booth in Tucson, but I've grown into a different type of marketer person. I'm leaning into the fears that I have, and I think the circle of everything happening for a reason is where I am and why I am here. Fernando, I did his wedding to Veronica about 7 years ago. And so that's where I first met him. And we've just stayed friends on Facebook. He's done some donations to things that I've been part of. And he reached out just on a whim. I was not looking for a job. And I like to tell people, and he lives it, if you don't ask, the answer will always be no. And so he asked, are you happy? And I was like, what kind of question is that? That's silly.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, are you happy at where you're at? And I said, well, I'm not unhappy. So we kind of talked. He Jerry Maguired me, I like to say. He put a number on paper, and it really, was something that I didn't know anything about, solar. And so that was a scary place for me. I want to be able to know what I'm talking about. And so I did. I leaned in, and this is where I am. I said yes, and it was the most I've ever thought about taking a position. And this guy was so patient. I asked every question you could possibly think of, and he literally, I was sitting in a hotel room, said, Errin, you just have to trust me. Make the choice to join us and then trust me. And so I did. I took that leap of faith, and that's where I am now.
Wonderful, wonderful. And Fernando?
Yeah, my name's Fernando with Solgen Power. What led me down the path of solar and building businesses and trying to get people to succeed and bring out the best version of themselves? A little bit about me. I think coaching is something that's in my blood. It's actually one of the most important things to me. And I found that out coaching AAU basketball. Right? Because growing up, I grew up with a single mom. My dad wasn't in my life. And my basketball coach in high school really taught me some principles, values that stuck with me. And these are some of the things that sometimes I teach today. So at the end of the day, being able to help people, help kids, just reach things that they never thought were possible is really who I feel I am. It's really what's paved the way for me and Solgen Power.
Wow, that's incredible. And hearing both of your stories, I started this saying that there's something different about Solgen Power. Quickly, I'm new to the community, new to the Marana Chamber, and I knew that. So hearing both your stories, it's like it's in the DNA of this company. So tell me more about Solgen Power.
Yeah. So I, at the time, I was actually coaching business owners when the Solgen Power opportunity came. I met Chris Lee at a business conference in 2018. I believe it was in the summer. Never in the world did I think I'd be in solar, right? Well, Chris had an assistant that took really pretty notes, and I asked him for the notes. He gave me his phone number to exchange notes. The rest was history. We signed up, in August or September to be a partner with Solgen Power, and we started from our kitchen table. Funny enough, we recruited people that came to work for me and Solgen at our kitchen table. And to be honest with you, what did they see? Why did they go work with us? I believe they saw the leadership. I believe they saw the opportunity. And I believe they saw that we really put people first. I think that's the only way I am able to hire somebody and them sit and go through training at my kitchen table.
Wonderful. And so, Errin, from the marketing side, what do you see as the things that makes Solgen Power easy to share in this community and to market from that side?
Yeah, Solgen is one of many solar companies. You won't find a lack of opportunity for solar companies in Tucson, Arizona, more specifically. And I think what is easy for me is knowing what Solgen Power wants to do for the community, in the community, because we are helping the community. We help the community by people seeing the solution that solar will give them as homeowners, equity in their home. All of that stuff is great. And yes, I truly do believe solar is an opportunity for homeowners. But beyond that, Fernando has allowed me to go and invest in the community that invests in us. And that, no matter what, is something that is incredible. You cannot believe in a company if the company doesn't believe in you and doesn't believe in the community it lives in. So we, have people that are born and raised Tucson. I also went to Amphi, and so we are invested in this community. We have young men that also, grew up here in Tucson, but we more than anything have someone that believes in our drive, our leadership, pushes us to think outside that box of what we fear, lean into it, and try and find the better version of ourselves. And then it's easy to go out and talk about solar. It's not a forced conversation with anyone. It is just an easy conversation. And so when we are asked, I get asked all the time, I don't see you guys on TV doing commercials. I don't see you guys doing, print ads, because Fernando would rather spend money on being involved in, giving back in the community where others are spending money on ads. We want to do things in the community. So really investing back in this community.
And just to piggyback off of Errin and what she's talking about is, I believe a lot of solar companies or just business in general always put development professionally first, right? And I think we do it backwards. I believe that personal development, really understanding what you're looking for, getting clear is what's getting our people so much success, because nobody else is really doing it. So we try to look into our people first, then professionally.
That leads me exactly into my next question, and probably the question most business owners are going through right now, and that's your talent and getting people on your team, that onboarding, the hiring process, and then that retention piece. So can you tell me some of these things? I hear best version of yourself, coaching, leaning into your fears. Those aren't typical words employers use when developing their team. I think that's very unique. Can you talk a little bit more about your team specifically and that path to success that you have placed them on?
Yeah, so I hope I answer your question correctly, but I believe a lot of this is trial and error. And the reason I say that is because you're either going to develop a culture by design, okay, or the culture just develops itself, okay? And to us at Solgen Power, everything we're trying to do is intentional. It's important that our people are being coached, right? And there's different levels of it, okay? We have field marketers that get a different type of coaching compared to our energy consultants, and then our leaders, our leadership group, which all of it takes time. But we personally have developed a training program at Solgen Power so we can effectively help these people day in and day out.
I've told Fernando this last week. It is nothing I have ever seen before in a company, ever. And I've had, many different jobs. It's the first time that someone, number one, has asked me to look at goals. And that's something that's, really important, but no one's ever really held me accountable for that. And then that, third aspect of leaning into fear, fear is a driving force. It can be for good or for bad. And your mind, can wrap itself around the fear of bad. But I think leaning into that fear of driving determination is important. And I I really think that, Fernando does a really good job cultivating those, thoughts of people. And then, like I said, it's easy to get out there and go talk about it. But that's, sometimes what other companies don't always focus on. The dollar is the bottom line, and that's really not where we start at Solgen.
Why are people choosing to go towards solar? Is it the sustainability aspect, the financial aspect, a combination of all, or something that I'm unaware of? So when your customers are coming out first, before they realize the community aspect that you have and this unique thing, what are people and customers looking for?
Personally, I believe the most important part is owning your power source, right? Now you have an asset that's producing electricity, but at the same time, it's helping the environment and saving you money. Yeah, I think solar
No
is
brainer, right?
absolutely a no-brainer. Yeah.
What is one common misunderstanding about attaining solar or getting solar that you might be able to clarify for some of our listeners?
Yeah. So I thought about this question, and I think it's important to get out to the public that just because you get solar does not mean that your utility bill goes away. There's so many different things that play a part, right? Roof access, sun exposure, who your utility company is extremely important. So I really would suggest that everybody meets with a professional to give you the advice that's needed.
Absolutely. And what does that relationship look like? I didn't think too much about the working with utilities and your relationship in that space. What does that look like?
So that is something that we've worked really hard since we came down to Tucson. Tucson is a very tight-knit community. One of the reasons we invest a lot in it. But yeah, we've made some really strong relationships with people at Tucson Electric Power, just different utility companies around town, even in the outskirts of town. So we have our operations team that works every day with TEP, Trico, and different electric companies to keep that relationship growing.
And I think that's also what makes Solgen different. We have everything in-house, and so we have the people that are going to work on your permits. We're going to work with your HOA. We're going to work with TEP, and then our installers. Our Solgen employees are going to go out and install, so you're not trying to deal with a different install company. If there is an issue with the panels or your roof, you're going to call Solgen. You're not going to try and find a different company to now go fix your panels. You're not going to sit on hold for 4 hours trying to get questions answered and then end up having to pay $300 to have us come out and look. That all is different for solar companies. Solgen Power invests in its people, but that allows us to invest in the people that trust us. And that's really different.
Incredible. And so I think you've answered it in about 100 ways, but what sets you apart and has allowed you to remain competitive in this industry that you have shared is, very competitive.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off of what Errin said. I think some people downplay the opportunity that we have to do everything in-house. We call it an A to Z process. We source our own panels. So we have all of our equipment at our warehouse right now. We install all of our own systems. All of the engineers, electricians, they all are employed by Solgen Power. We actually even have our own finance portal. And that's something that Solgen Power owns. I'm not sure, but I don't think there's another solar company that actually does that. But the most important thing to me is that we're able to serve our clients within 24 to 48 hours. I can't tell you enough how many times we've gone out to people that already have solar and say they've been waiting for someone for 2 months, 90 days. So that's important to me. It's important that when you make an investment with us, we take care of you.
And I think that is really starting to show in, the networking that through Marana Chamber, people are starting to trust solar. It's kind of like the Wild West right now because there are so many solar companies out there. Giving solar a bad name because of the way that they're treating customers, they will come in and they will sell you any type of company, any type of solar. You have to fit in their box usually. It doesn't matter if it was made for your house or not. And then once they have sold it to you, they leave and they're gone and you will not see them again. And that's what we're dealing with, is trying to, show people that there's a different way with Solgen Power. And then, that face-to-face relationship that people have through the Marana Chamber has really been great to see. People are trusting, trusting Errin, trusting Fernando, trusting Solgen Power because of the opportunity people do business with people they trust. And I think that that's where we are starting to see a difference in people's, thought process about solar. And it's been really, really fun to watch people. Well, I've kind of been thinking about it, and so now we're like, well, let us at least just come and talk to you. And, there's one gentleman that, our energy consultant, Fred, went and talked to him 4 times. And really, this man really asked those tough questions. And Fred is patient, he is kind, he is diligent, but he answered them all. And he got solar last week. And so it's incredible to hear, that someone in our tight-knit community is trusting, and he's a money manager. So it clearly makes sense. So I don't need to go out and tell people now. It's starting to happen already, and they will start to go out and tell people. And then we are doing in the community, investing in ways that will help, big brothers, big sisters, Make-A-Wish. We're going to be at the golf tournament, for Marana Chamber. We're mentoring Kids Tucson. All of those opportunities that we're investing in will also speak about Solgen Power's investment in the community. So we don't have to sit there on a commercial and talk all day long about why we're the best. We're showing people what that means. And that's really important as well.
So Fernando, you mentioned your A to Z. So can you tell us about that process? And for somebody who maybe hasn't used solar before, what does that mean in terms of the technical side of what you do?
When our energy consultant comes to your home, gets everything set up, to install solar, Solgen Power has actually made it super easy. We have an 8-step process to get you to the finish line. First step is always evaluating your electric bill. We want to make sure we tailor a system for you. That way, we're not overselling you, underselling you. It hits the spot, saves you money. Number 2, once we see that bill, we're actually going to bring you a proposal. That way, you can see everything up front. Make sure that you understand investment. Make sure you understand federal incentives, savings, warranties, all that great stuff. Step number 3, then we're going to take care of the financing in-house, which is usually $0 down if you qualify. Those first 3 steps, usually to qualify you and your family for solar. Step number 4 is actually to qualify the property. So we're going to have a site surveyor come out. He is going to take measurement of the roof, fly our drone, make sure that your electrical box is in good shape. Once your home is qualified, then we enter the permitting process. Permitting process can take the longest depending on where the county or the city is. But once that's all taken care of, then we'll go right into the next step, which is installation. And our installations are done by all of our people. None of it is subcontracted. So usually you get answers when you need them, local authority to make calls if anything changes. Once the installation is done, you're going to want to turn on your system. You're going to want to get it going, start saving money. But there's one more inspection left. The city will come out, make sure that we place the panels where we said we would. And then you're going to have the utility come out, make sure we're connected correctly, everything looks good. Once that's done, utility is going to bring out a new meter, read the excess power that you sell the utility. A couple weeks go by and your PTO, permission to operate your system.
Absolutely. I see you're absolutely walking the talk that you have shared today. So speaking of fun, I've seen your social media. And so where can we find you on social media and connect with you in that space? Additionally, share with us what it's been like to get the team excited. And I see you have a fun crew.
Yes, we do. We have the operations team that's in-house. We have the energy consultants. We have the installers, the site surveyor, the electrician. I mean, all these guys are all multiple personality types. But at the end of the day, everyone likes to, have fun. So Fernando is really good about finding fun things for them to do. They're going to go paintballing in Marana next week, I think. And, we did a thing at Casino del Sol. And so all of these fun things that we do are the opportunity for me to take pictures and then create those fun videos on social media. So you can reach us at 520-222-9440. You can visit our website, solgenpower.com. You can go on TikTok and find us at Solgen Power 1, just the number 1. We're on Facebook at Solgen Power Arizona, and we're on Instagram, Solgen Power AZ.
Thank you, Errin. And we'll also share that in the show notes for today's podcast episode. So if you're on a computer, you can access that there as well. So thank you once again to Fernando and Errin for being here with Solgen Power. It's been wonderful to talk to you, learn more about your business and the impact you're making in our community. And thank you to Anstar Productions Group. Thank you, and we'll see you again soon.